Unit 11 Renewable Energy. Lesson 1 Renewable Energy Sources, Part 1. Read the text and answer the following questions. Suhan lives in a village in the southwest part of Bangladesh. Last night he could not sleep. His sister had the SSC exam next morning. She could not read either. There was load shedding. The summer night being sticky hot, life became hell without electricity. Most of the area remained dark for hours due to power shortage. In May-June, temperature shoots up to 40 degrees Celsius. With almost 90% of humidity in the atmosphere, it becomes all sweat, wet, damp and stinky. When you are busy fanning yourself all the time, how can you concentrate on studies? In the night, it is impossible to sit in the study with a candlelight or table lamp or hurricane lamp or a rural kerosene lamp. People simply come out of houses almost bare-bodied and sit in the open places. Some splash cold water on their faces. Fans are still, lamps are out, and it is dark everywhere. It is simply unbearable. What is the reason of frequent load shedding? Press reports say there is a shortage in electricity production. According to the Power Development Authorities, the demand for electricity a few years ago was more than 6,000 megawatts a day, while the supply remained around 4,200 megawatts. In the rural areas, the Rural Electrification Board could supply barely half of the total demand, which was around 2,400 megawatts per day. In the capital city, the demand stood at around 1,400 megawatts, while the supply amounted to 650 megawatts. As a result, load shedding is unavoidable for the time being. But the situation is improving very fast. Lesson 2 Renewable Energy Sources, Part 2. In a speech at the 90th Science Congress, internationally acknowledged scientist and former Indian President, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, mentioned a very important aspect of mankind's future energy crisis. He pointed out that the era of wood and biomass has almost come to an end. The age of oil and natural gas would soon be over within the next few decades. Massive burning of world's coal reserves may lead to a worldwide ecological disaster because coal burning emits the highest amount of carbon in the atmosphere. Ukraine's Chernobyl disaster in 1986 has exposed that nuclear energy can be potentially dangerous too. So, according to Kalam, the only solution that mankind can look to is the massive use of solar energy in future, because it has some advantages over other forms of renewable energies. Now, why has Kalam put so much importance to the issue of energy? The energy sources have always been a major factor of change throughout history. The world's petroleum consumption has increased from annually 3 billion barrels in 1930 to annually 50 billion barrels today. In the next quarter century, the world's population is expected to be about 8 billion, which is 30% higher than today. Developing countries will grow their economics about 2 times faster than industrialized countries. Global economic growth is expected to continue at 3% per year. Consequently, the global demand for energy will grow at about 1.7% on an average. It indicates a 50% rise of energy consumption by 2030. If the world's daily petroleum consumption is 220 million barrels now, it will rise to 335 million barrels by that time. The present reserve of hydrocarbon energy resources is limited, and it will not be sufficient to meet the future energy challenges of the world, and hence leading industrial countries have taken initiatives to tap alternative energy sources, mainly known as green or renewable energy sources. The bottom line of Kalam's speech indicates that concern of mankind in the 21st century. Statistics from Rex W. Tillerson. Lesson 2 continued. In Sohan's village, some people headed by Mr. Asadul Islam came from an organization to organize a meeting of the local Union Parishad office. Their objective was to introduce alternative power supply systems in rural households. Read the dialogue between the UP chairman and Mr. Islam. Chairman: what's your alternative power supply system? Mr. Islam: well, it's actually solar power units that we are going to use in rural areas. Chairman: what's it? Is it something new? Mr. Islam: not exactly. It's already familiar in many parts of the world. We have introduced it in our country too, but yes, in this area it's something new. Chairman: I see. Why do you call it alternative power supply system? Mr. Islam: solar power is actually a renewable energy source. Our solar units can be installed on open rooftops or at any open place where sunlight is available. It can be a substitute to conventional electricity. Chairman: sounds good. How much electricity can they give? Can they run my irrigation pump? Mr. Islam: I'm afraid, Mr. Chairman, they can't. Our solar panels are small and are designed for domestic purposes only. They can produce enough electricity to run, say, 2 or 3 tube lights, 2 fans, a TV set, and the like. But larger units can run. Chairman: sorry to interrupt, Mr. Asad. I have to go to the bus stand now to receive my sick friend. Anyway, several villages in our union are still without electricity. I hope people will welcome your alternative power supply system. Mr. Islam: thank you, Mr. Chairman. Goodbye. Chairman: goodbye, Mr. Asad. See you again. Lesson 3: Renewable Energy Sources, Part 3. Countries of the world rely heavily on petroleum, coal, and natural gas for their energy sources. There are 2 major types of energy sources: renewable and non-renewable. Hydrocarbon or fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. Reliance on them poses real big problems. First, fossil fuels such as oil, coal, gas, etc. are finite energy resources, and the world eventually will run out of them. Secondly, they will become too expensive in the coming decades and too damaging for the environment to repair. Thirdly, fossil fuels have direct polluting impacts on Earth's environment, causing global warming. In contrast, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar energy are constantly and naturally replenished and never run out. Most renewable energy comes either directly or indirectly from the sun. Sunlight or solar energy can be used for heating and lighting homes, for generating electricity, and for other commercial and industrial uses. The sun's heat drives the wind, and this wind energy can be captured with wind turbines to produce electricity. Then the wind and the sun's heat cause water to evaporate. When this water vapor turns into rain or snow and flows downhill into rivers or streams, its energy can be captured as hydroelectric energy. Along with the rain and snow, sunlight causes plants to grow. Plants produce biomass, which again can be turned into fuels such as firewood, alcohol, etc., identified as bioenergy. Scientists have identified hydrogen as another form of renewable energy source. It is the most abundant element in nature, but it does not exist separately as a gas. It is always combined with other elements such as with oxygen to make water. Hydrogen separated from another element can be burned as a fuel to produce electricity. Our Earth's interior contains molten lava with tremendous heat. This heat inside the Earth produces steam and hot water, which can be tapped as geothermal energy to produce electricity for heating homes, etc. Ocean energy comes from several sources. Ocean's force of tide and waves can be used to produce energy. The surface of the ocean gets more heat from the sun than the ocean depths. This temperature difference can be used as energy source too. Source the internet. Continued. D. Read the dialogue between Raju, a student of class 10, and his uncle, Mr. Barua, who works at Shongu gas field. Mr. Barua, what are you reading, Raju? English, uncle, a chapter on renewable energy sources. I see. Do you know renewable energy is also called green energy? Green energy? No, uncle, I don't know. Nothing is there about green energy in our text either. Are you sure? Anyway, renewable energy sources provide us energy which doesn't harm environment during its production or consumption. Say solar energy. You see, there's no burning, no smoke, no emission of gases. It's a sort of clean technology and clean energy source. Oh, exactly. That's what our teacher said. I remember. On the other hand, burning fossil fuels, say oil or coal, emits greenhouse gases that harm the environment. Oh, I see. Yes, I've got the clue, Uncle. Thanks a lot. I now understand the relation between the two pictures in section A. Green energy sources make a green globe. Excellent. Now I've got the point.